Hey guys, how is everyone? How are you guys doing now? Hello, Joseph. You're Jesh. How are you doing? How is everyone? Hello, baby Y, and yeah, so you're a patron. Thank you for becoming a patron. Really appreciate it, man. Thank you. Yeah, so today, I haven't streamed, I think, for about a week. I don't know. Yeah, maybe about a week. So I decided, because I was doing some other things, so I decided, yeah, really thank you for that. I really appreciate it, man. It really helps out a lot. Yeah, so I haven't streamed in a while because I was working on this add-on here called a Texture Deco Designer. And basically what it does is it complements my other add-on called Quick Decals. And now if you don't know what Quick Decals is, it's just a quick way to texture your scene. And one thing I realized is that you have to have these decals designed, or you have to buy them from somewhere. But I thought maybe we could do a quick tutorial, maybe a quick add-on that would make it easy for you to design the decals yourself within Blender. And you can see just the link in the description if you want to check out the add-on. It just enables you to design your own decals, and I'm going to also demonstrate in this tutorial, in this time-lapse, in this live video, how the add-on works. But how is everyone? Hello, Tashiji. Hi, thanks to you. I'm learning Blender. That's great. Hello, Ganja Farmer. How are your plants? Hey there, finally it made it to the live stream. I'm glad you're here as well. So yeah, so to test out the add-on, what we're going to be doing is create a hospital like this. And it looked great and very interesting. And yeah, you can see we can use it to create an amazing scene and also get to show off the new add-on, because I think it would do great for these posters and these decorations here. You are making great content. Thank you. So today we have switched up the schedule a bit, the streaming schedule a bit, because it has been a while before since I made a live stream. So I decided to just jump in today and create something. So let's jump in right away. We are not going to copy this exactly, but we are going to make it look similar to this. Hello, Loveless. Yeah, people here have some interesting names. Ganja Farmer. Do you know that that song, Ganja Planter? Yes, I'm a Ganja Planter. Call me the Ganja Farmer. It was really popular here, man. Really popular. Let me turn on my shortcuts. I'll also bring in my Deco Designer add-on just to show you how it works. Okay, so let's set up this scene. We're going to make a few changes, but for now we are just going to start creating the layout of this room. Just a bit, something like this. Hello, Anjana, Joel. Good to see you back. How is everything? How is everyone? So, one thing I want to know about you guys, like kind of snoop a little bit, or I don't know how to call that, but I want to know something about your lives. Are you like married? Are you like... Also, I saw a post on the Discord. I think Bobby, you wanted to ask to get some Q&A going here. I'm not sure what you want to know about me, but I'll be glad to go with that, to do something like that. My life is not that interesting, but yeah, if you have any questions about me, you can shoot them, and I'll make sure to answer them if I'm able to. And I also want to know about you guys. Are you guys married? I'm not myself married. And I'm also very single too. I spend most of my time in Blender, but I do have my fun, if you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so hey, a subscriber. Hello, Shashank D's. Thank you for subscribing. Hey, man, I can feel you. Yeah. Stanis is one true king. Yeah, Blender is my wife. Yeah, one of my friends told me that the way I'm so obsessed with Blender, I may get in trouble if I ever get married or something. I may start how is it called? Like is it sleep talking, and just mentioning Blender, and then the wife will be like, yeah, who is that? And you have no good explanation for that. You can't really say it's a 3D application. All good, fire. Let's learn some tricks. Yeah, let's see what we can do here. So, do you guys have family? Do you live alone? How is life outside Blender? Basically, that's what I'm asking. I guess if it's not too much to ask, how is life outside Blender? For me, it has been a little non-existent, and I'm trying to change that because now I'm entering 30, sorry, I'm 29, is it? 29 years, and people are starting to ask me, when are you getting married? Every time I have to visit my parents, that's any relative, that's the question I get, and I'm not even sure about that. Yeah, I want to get married, but I'm not sure when. I don't really have a schedule for that. It will happen when it happens. I like the idea. So that's something I would see myself doing in the future, hopefully. Yes, thank you, Edam, for subscribing. Really like that. I'm just 16 and a college boy. Good start for you. So, 16, what would that place you? Where would that place you? Is in college? Because 16 here you are not, because here it's not called college, it's called university. But I think maybe it's not that different. Or is it? Because high school is secondary school here. So, are you about to finish college, or are you just like, because 16 is a bit young for anyone to be in university here. So, I'm guessing college is a bit different where you're from. Okay, I'm not really sure what I'm doing here. Let me just for me, playing basketball and chilling. What about your farm? Are you not farming? Ganja planter? Okay, let's make these walls here. Get some ambient occlusion going. Like so. 60 years old, 3 kids as old as you. 60 years. 60 is a good age. I hope one day I can get there. 3 kids. So you are not having as many kids as people here have. 60 years, I want to have. Yeah, I think 3 kids is good. That's what I would go for too. It would be a good number to be at. So, Bobby, what else do you do? So family, and then I see you do art, which is amazing pieces. But outside work, what else? Do you have any activities you do yourself? It's been 3 months. I'm just 16. Oh, you have just entered college then. So how long does it take you to finish college? Or how long will it take you to finish college? Shaden Saldanha? How long? And what country would that be? I need some lights here. I think I need to make this wall a bit larger. And I'm also going to split these in 2 different collections. So I'm going to make these the ceiling so that I can sailing. Just disable that for a second and work within this view so that I can see everything much easier. I think I'm going to pull this wall to the side a bit. Grab this, maybe have it there, and think we can also bring this somewhere like that. Yes, two semesters are for 11th. 2 semesters, is that how long is your semester then? How do you change the color of solid view models? So what you do, if you want to have each model to have a different color, all you have to do is go to Studio and turn on random colors. The default is usually single, so you get a single color for every object. Random just gives you that random color, which makes it easy to identify the different objects in your scene. That's why you see I use it a lot. Illustrator designer, industrial design, that's why I'm learning Blender. Yeah, I've seen your amazing work. What else do you do outside Blender? Any activities? Because I'm trying to copy people within my industry, because if you guys can do it, maybe I can also do it. Because we usually have the same schedules, so I can copy what you guys do and maybe try to do it myself outside Blender, so that I can make my life a little bit, so that I can have something to. I usually swim, but that is also getting a little bit boring, since when you go to swim, you always need company to go with, and usually the time that I'm free, my friends are not usually free, because our work schedules are very different, since we are in a completely different industry. I am from India. Nice. One semester is 6 months, so that's about 1.5 years. That's short. 3, because I think you said 3 semesters, so that's it. That's 1 year. That's really short. I thought something like 3 years, because here most classes would take most studies would take about 3 years minimum, or actually 2 years minimum. Okay, I'm forgetting what I'm doing. Okay, let's start adding in some material. I'm going to go to the asset library here and get myself a wall texture. Let me grab this here. Should work for the walls. For now, link material. Now that's our materials for the wall. Can also add it for the ceiling. We can hide the ceiling for now. Just farming some good old Blender assets. Yeah, great. Man, I wished I learned Blender when I was 16. Yeah, the earlier the better. But Blender back then was kind of a bit hard to learn. I want to use a bevel and shift in. Just round off these edges a little bit, harden normals, and then auto smooth. Greetings from Colombia. Hey, Colombia. How is Colombia doing? How is it out there? Yes, I remember watching a TikTok on Insta. A TikTok on TikTok about Colombia. Like, was something interesting, because one of the guy who was making the TikTok lives in Uganda, so he was comparing Colombia to Uganda, and was saying that before he was coming, when he was deciding whether to come to Uganda, he told his friends, and his friends told him that why would you go to a country like that? It's violent. There's a lot of cases out there of kidnapping and what, and they told him you shouldn't go there. You get kidnapped or something like that. It's rough here. So he was kind of scared and skeptical coming here, but he came anyways. And when he came to Uganda and arrived, the people here, when he told people here, locals in Uganda about Colombia, they all started asking, "You must be tough living in Colombia because our here is there are gangs out there, it's violent out there." And because what his point was that the news can kind of paint kind of a bad image about different countries. They kind of can make a country look bad worse than it is. And because for him, when he was Colombia, our Colombians would tell him that yeah, don't go to Uganda. It is not a good country because of the hostile environment that is there. But when he came to here, people here also told him the same thing, that Colombia must be very violent. But none of them really had a good picture about the other countries. And what he said in the end of the TikTok, he said he wished that people from both countries could hear what the other thinks about the other country, and realize that the media is kind of playing off. I don't know. Yeah, the way he was he worded his the way he worded it was very, very interesting and very amazing. Yeah, so yeah, maybe one day if I'm able, I'll try to visit Colombia there, because the news has made it sound very, very worse than I think it is. We really don't have a good picture about it. Like I'm sure most of you have. The worst picture about Africa or Uganda for that matter. But anyway, let's continue doing some blending stuff here. I have a recording studio. I do music, and I'm not sure what that is. So you're a producer? Nice, very interesting. And do you use Blender in what you do, or is it just for fun stuff? So this is going to be our old material. I'm just going to make it a little bit, maybe try using this, make it a bit reflective. I'm from Uganda. That's in East Africa. Just get this, use a different material for the walls or something like that. I'll do the same here. Add a different material for that. And but we have 11th and 12th. 11th and 12th of what? Yeah, nice, Bobby. Sounds great. Blender is amazing, man. I just started half a year right and now doing acquis, and one-on-one's videos are gold. Thank you. Yeah, what am I doing? I'm forgetting some. Okay, let me add in some flow materials. Maybe use something a bit rougher. This would be a sand texture. Let me see how it's going to look. It's not going. Actually, it can work for this kind of surface. I just have to scale it down a bit. Bring back my ceiling. Just going to make it something like that. I want a door maybe somewhere here, just so for some interesting visuals. So I'm just going to expand this and just delete. I'm going to use a solidify modifier just for the walls. Recalculate normals. So we have something like that. Do you use Quixel Mega Scan for materials? Yeah, sometimes, but rarely, because Quixel Mega Scan, because I usually share my projects on Patreon, and I'm not sure about sharing Quixel assets, if that would be allowed. So I want to have some volumetric lighting here. I guess I would have to reduce this area light a bit. And let me add a volume object here, just so we can capture some volume metrics. Hi bro, I have an interior scene. I wanna get the most realistic interior result. Can you help? If okay, I'm gonna contact you privately. You can use my Discord server to send me a message if you want. And let me actually link, copy. So that's where, that's the link, Discord link. Do you Juju Loro Games? Hello from France. How is France? I love your channel. Thank you. It's great to see you do these beautiful things. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to use some volumetrics here. I'm going to apply the scale. Just change this visibility into wireframe and then add a new material. And then I'm going to use the principal volume here. And so let me get the distance from this. So this is about 5 meters, which is good. So I can make this, it doesn't really have to be that wide. And I can just have this to something like that. So I want to have some volumes there, and I can go to the volume settings. I'm going to come back and read the message a bit. Let's first clear do some things here. And since we are using only 5 meters, I can use something like 6 so that we get better volumes. And I'm just going to increase this to something like 1 volumetric shadows. So I want this to end at something like 8. So I'm going to bring my camera in. You can see we're already seeing some nice volumes. Can use 128 samples. And so let me go back to your message just a little bit and see. Okay, so where are you from? I'm from Uganda. By the way, how is the COVID situation here? So here is things don't seem very serious. It was serious. We had 2 lockdowns, and I think it was handled very well. So we didn't have any major. It wasn't anything major. So some people died, unfortunately, but I think it was handled a little bit better. So we didn't have as many cases, and even though the few cases that we had, there weren't too maybe for those who died. I guess they were serious, but yeah, people are moving. Lockdowns have been eased, and yeah, it doesn't seem it hasn't been that bad. Let me just say that. So what about you on that side? Can I watch a live after? Yeah, the live stream will be on. Hello Tashigi, I'm from Uganda. That's in East Africa. Hello Henry Ribeiro. How is Brazil? How is it there? And I think there are a lot of artists from Brazil. Shivan Voha. Actually, I'm working in a 3D studio as a Luke Dave artist in Maya and Octane. I started Blender this year and got hooked. And I was a typo. It's for 3D. Oh yeah. So I thought you say that. I thought you are a producer, like an audio producer. That's usually what comes to mind when someone says producer. They are producer. But that's interesting. So how long have you been using Maya, and what kind of what differences have you noticed within Maya, and do you still use Maya, or are you now have we turned you to Blender forever? It would be amazing. can you help me get a freelance job? So you're asking Shivam Vohra? Yeah, that's so. Can any of you do you guys know who any 3D person who is hiring? I'm not looking. I'm just curious if you guys. Very cool. Okay, so let's continue with this so that we can complete a few things. So yeah, so we can start texturing, which we have been doing. I guess I can add in a few details for the ceiling here. So for the ceiling, what I'm going to do is just duplicate this, and let me isolate this for a second. And the ceiling can be detailed in many ways, but what I usually want to do, is add these kind of, I don't know how they're called, but these squares. Now you see what I'm going to do. Maybe I'm using two. These are two. Okay, actually this is the exact size that I think would work. So this is going to be our ceiling. Maybe these squares are a bit too much. Some of these are a bit too large. And actually, the best way to do this would be to first, yes, some squares look too, because I want to have a grid. And actually, instead of doing it like this, I can start with a grid so that we get squares that are of the same sizes. Because there's usually this grid pattern or grid that's on the ceiling, where things like ventilation and other things are hanged. So that's what we are going to do here. So let me just go here. I think a grid like this is enough. So you just go into edit mode. Maybe this is too large, so I'm just going to subdivide it once more. Go into edit mode, hit I twice, and insert this just a little bit like that, and then delete those extra faces. And if you add a solidify modifier, so what I'm going to do is speed model this for like a minute or two, and then get back to the messages. So you guys can keep them coming, and I'll come back to answer them. And if you're just getting here, it would be amazing to leave a like. Just really helps out the channel. So some small detail like this, so you can go to the material. This can be, I don't know, these usually metals. I think these are usually metals, so I can look for a metallic, a metal. Let me look into uncategorized, get something. Oh, I can just create a new material. Just use a new metal material like this, and play with the roughness a bit. So texture, get a rough texture. Yay! Thank you for subscribing, Eduardo Clarke. Sorry if I'm butchering your name, but really appreciate it. And if you guys want to subscribe and you haven't, it would be amazing if you did. So this is going to be our texture. So this is going to be to the roughness. I think we can use object mapping here. I'm working on another add-on that just because Blender uses a lot of shortcuts, and it can be quite overwhelming for someone who doesn't really know all the shortcuts. So I'm creating an add-on that is just going to turn all the shortcuts, or most of the shortcuts, into buttons. So you just click a button to access most of the things, like adding nodes, because you have to go into the list and know where know where the node is. But I'll have a few buttons here that you can just click on and access those nodes and other things to just make sure that. So is the asset library material for free? Not really. Actually, the asset library materials don't. The asset library comes empty. It doesn't come with any objects. And the reason I did it like that because I wanted to keep it light, and not everyone needs the assets. Most people who buy the asset library already have their own assets, so they just want a way to manage them. Set origin to geometry. Okay, so I want to create a ceiling. Let me see if I can get a ceiling design. So this is the pattern I was going for, but they usually have this is the grid I was talking about. It's not material. There is a okay, this material here, suspended ceiling tile, ceiling that we are going to create procedurally tile. And I want you to first see how this looks. So it has those dotted, they're like noise details, but they make it look quite interesting. Let me just show you how that looks. Okay, and I think the grid is not actually metallic. So let's save this so we can, don't just use an image editor here. Get my, this back. Yeah, so this ceiling pattern, this ceiling detail, this is what we're going to, let's create this procedurally, because it doesn't look that difficult to create. And so this is the ceiling, and it's not metal, so let's not make it metal. Yeah, ceiling panels, nice ceiling grid, thank you. So this ceiling panel, so let's create a new material. And it's very, very easy. Did anyone try out Blender 3? I tried it out, but yeah, I'm not sure if they have made any changes to it. But usually, yeah, actually, I haven't really tried it out, so I want to talk about it after it's fully integrated into Blender, because it has had some difficulties. So let's create this pattern. Let me first UV unwrap these. See. So this is the noise we have, but there is also a different noise under the, I think, mass grave. I think it might give us better details, so we can. But the mass grave has a lot of connected. All the noise is connected in some way, so we can use a convert car ramp to make it a bit disconnected, like this. So something like that. Maybe scale down the noise just like that. And now this, we can connect this to a bump node, hide, and then connect this to the normal node. And if we preview this, what is the asset library? So the asset library, if you're talking about the asset, I think, is it the asset browser? Is it asset browser? Is it library? So the Blender version is called the asset library. The asset browser, my version is called the asset library. The issue with the Blender version is that it has had a few issues, and usually a bit hard to implement, and you have to go through a few steps to implement it. And I think you have to save every asset first into a Blender file before you can use it. I think Curtis Holt has a tutorial about how to use it, how to set it up. Yeah. Okay, so this is going to be our ceiling material. I'm going to make this a bit brighter like that. Maybe something like that. And I think, yeah, that's going to be it. Now we can use our grunge map texture image. We just grab a grunge map, grunges. Let me just get something like this, and I can use that as the roughness. Just should help break up some of the materials just a little bit. And maybe let's scale this up quite a bit. Hey, thank you for subscribing, Pro Noob. Glad to see you. Their website isn't respond. I haven't checked it out today. So what website is not responding? I'm sorry, I missed that. What is blend? Hello, Dave Manu. How are you doing? So we have, this is going to be, and this, I think we still need to make these a little bit, the noise a little bit small. We need to make it more smaller. Something like that. And the grid also needs to be smaller. And the easiest way to make it smaller here, because we have already made it difficult. I'm just going to invert. Actually, let's just get rid of, if you're in edit mode, you can just get rid of everything and just add a plane back. I'm just going to center this because I think I should have used the array modifier so that we can just easily make changes out of this. So I'm just going to use the array modifier like that, so that we can create a nice grid that is easy to make changes to. Especially if we want to change the thickness of those grids. So add another array. Like so, just something like that. So it's been a while since I have gone to the Blender website. Is there any new news or any upcoming feature that I might have missed that you guys know about? Because the last interesting feature I think was the asset library? Don't really remember. They haven't really showcased any new features, I think. So let's do something like that. This is going to be our grid on top of our ceiling. So something like that. Now I can make the grid wider or smaller like that. Geometry nodes are getting bigger. Nice. I haven't checked out more updates on that, but I think it's still more of a kind of geometry nodes is still too technical in my opinion. You have to know a lot of math. I have to know a lot of, I don't know, technical stuff to use it. So it's not really artist friendly. So if you don't know how math or something like that, yeah, it becomes a bit difficult to use. Hopefully that changes in the future. Actually, let me bring this down a bit. Bring this light a bit down. Okay. We need. I have a few sailing lights. Guess I can use those. And I think I need to turn this to make it a bit dark like that. And I need another light here around this. So I'm going to use an area light here. It's Z180. Blender EV doesn't do good bounce lighting, so adding a light in the door in the entrance usually gives you some nice bounce lighting, so you can see the difference. Without that light, and with that light to get that nice kind of bounce light effect. I think you can give it maybe some bit of color like that. Yes, just to make things look a little bit more interesting. I think I'm going to get rid of this light for now, so that we have something that looks a bit interesting like that. Hello Fires Creations, good to see you here. How are you doing? How has your weekend? So today is a Friday, I think. Sorry, what day is it? Thursday. So how was the rest of your weekend? Okay, I want to have some ceiling lights here so that we have some light coming out of these. So what I'm going to do is just apply another grid. So in areas where I want to have, say, ventilation, I'm just going to add some subdivisions like this. Let's get something like that. And I'm just going to, let me see. So I want to have a few ceiling lights, and I've already modeled a few ceiling lights. So I'm just going to add them in different places. So let me, I think I have them in my decals library. Decals. By the way, if you want to use or get add-ons that I use in these tutorials, you can get them. These are add-ons that I've created myself. So yeah, when I usually have difficulties and I think Blender lacks somewhere, I create an add-on that helps me out, and I share them on my Blender page, which I'm trying to find here. Okay, so you can check these out. You don't even have to get any. You just have to check out the page and see, yeah, the kind of add-ons we have here. So let's go back here. I want to get my ceiling lights. So I want to go to decals, float, it's not there, ground. Okay, this is materials. I want under lights. Okay, these are not. Electronics. How do you create add-on for Blender? Is it difficult? You have to know some programming. You have to know Python programming and the Blender API, which is also Python. So if you know Python, it's going to be a little bit easier for you to know how to do these, to make add-ons. And I have a training series on how to create an add-on if you want to look into that, if you want to create your add-ons for yourself, which I think is a big business nowadays. It brings in some good passive income. So if you want to learn some basics, I think I have a tutorial series on how to create an add-on. So you can see it's only so far it's only 1, 2, 3, 4 parts, but that should get you through the basics. I'm thinking of adding on other parts later. Let me see. So I want, where is my add-ons? My ceiling. I think it's under building parts. So let me go there. Ceiling. Yeah, so you can see I have some vents here that I can use. I think I can add one right about there. Okay, this is too large, so I can bring it down to somewhere like this. I think that is, not sure if that's a good size. So then I can just come to this and just cut out a hole for that. And I'm going to show you how this model looks. It's very, very simple to create for yourself. I think I just have to do like this. I want to give this a modifier, a solidify modifier. Lowy, looking over my ganja farm from my room. Is it even legal where you from, man? Here, farming ganja is not really legal, but the they're not. If they don't get you there, then you are okay. And people, the laws here are a bit lax. It's illegal, but they are not going to do much as long as you don't have a very large plantation. If it's just 1-2 plants, the cops will just look away. I don't have any myself since I don't really smoke anything. But okay, so that's the ceiling light. The ceiling fan. Legal state. Oh, so you're living in a legal state. Nice, amazing, amazing, amazing. I'd like to live in an area where it's free, where it's not illegal. I don't really smoke, and I don't think I would smoke it. But it's the more freedom, the better, I think. Let's grab this edge loop. So this edge loop doesn't really look like this. You can make cookies. You can make cookies. Yeah, I think one time here there was a guy who had I think 2 acres of ganja plants, and now when the cops came, they tried to burn it, and yeah, they all became high off of the smoke that was coming off for it, and their interviews were just hilarious because you could see that it's like they had smoked it. Okay, so we can add a light here, and can add an area light for this area. I'm just going to grab it a little bit down. Has to be a bit scaled down like this. And because I want these to be also lit, I'm going to duplicate this light as well. Let me try rotating it 180 degrees. Okay, maybe that's too much. Let's see if I use a point light. A point light is a small radius. What your PC specs? So my PC specs are very modest. You can see this is my CPU. It's a 3 GHz CPU i5. This is my memory, 8 GB, and this is my graphics card, 1060 3 GB. Very, very modest. Nothing fancy. Okay, I'm going to duplicate this. I want to have a point light here. Make it very, very light, maybe 5. Scale, bring this down. So I can duplicate these in some places, so I can have another light. I'm going to use Alt D, bring that around here. So we have another ceiling light around here. Maybe hello, Eddie. Hello, 07 Abdul. How are you doing? No, I want this to be very, very faint. I want it to be a very faint light. So I'm going to use very, very small values on here. See if I just duplicate this around 180. Have a nice another ceiling light there. Maybe this can be something like that. We want to have very minimum lighting so that we can see, so that we can maintain some good contrast here. And I also want these to have, these volumetric areas to have some nice volumetric shadows. So I'm just going to just go in here, Shift D, F, and then P to separate this so that I can create some nice details for my volumes or into geometry. That's why Blender is the most amazing software. It just runs on every computer in the world and only has 450 MBs. Yeah, so Blender started out with about, I don't know, what was it, like was it 8 MBs? So if you think Blender is light, but when I started using Blender, it was literally about 8 MBs. So yeah, and back then a 3ds Max was, I don't know, was it, I don't remember exactly, but I think it was 700 MBs or something. So it was very, very large. So it might actually have been more than that. It could have, 3ds Max might have been about around 1 GB. Yes, thank you for subscribing. Chidom, thank you. So I want some volumetric shadows here. And this is going to be our door, and I think it will give us some nice volumetric shadows, as you can see. Just have to make the light a little bit more aggressive. So let's try maybe instead of changing the light, let's look into the volumetrics itself. Tanzania, hello neighbor, how are you doing? Hello Thomas. So Thomas, I don't think I've seen your message on Discord because yeah, you wanted to add me to your East African WhatsApp group. I haven't seen the message, but I'll be glad to join that, to be part of that, because I think it would be very, very amazing to be part of that. So if you have some time, do send me a message, shoot me a message, and yeah. So that's our volumetric lighting. It's a bit low resolution. So from where are you from? Yeah? Well, I learned this on YouTube, like most of you have. Do you know the app PureF? Yeah, I do, and I actually have it installed. I think I bought it, and it's free and can help you gather the reference photos into it. You are able to have more room for Blender. Yeah, I have it, and I don't think it's free. I don't think it's free anymore. Pure. I don't think I have it installed, but I rarely use it because I'm good. I was just having this setup. I have a second screen, so I usually put my things on that. The resolution here is really bad, so let me change this to something like 2 so that we have some nice volumes like that. And I think I can also bring the size of the sun so that the volumes are not too harsh. So let's try something like 10. Make this. For how long are you doing Blender now? If you started with 8 MB. I've been using Blender since 2.47B. That was around 2010, I think. But I wasn't really doing Blender seriously. I was just doing it as a hobby. It's still semi-hobby now. But But now Blender contributes about 50% of my income, so I guess it's no longer a hobby, it's kind of a job. That's yeah, that was around 2000, I think 10. Yeah, that's when I started using Blender. So our version is still a bit dark here. I confirm it's free. Perfect. Second screen. Ah, nice. Because I remember buying it because it was free before I bought it. Because I bought it once. Sorry, I downloaded it for free once, and when I was trying to download it for the second time after I reinstalled the Windows, I couldn't get it for free, so I had to just buy it because it's an amazing add-on if you work with references. Try to get this to be, and I think I can have this in front of this so that you don't have to recalculate shadows for it. And so we have a nice volumetric shadows coming in like that, and now we can start adding in more detail in some places. So let's create this kind of wall of fame thing. And maybe I can also add in some bit of light here. Just create an area light, just so we have some light coming in like that, or make this light a little bit more. Let's see this in this view. It's too harsh. I like to have minimum lighting because then it allows you to control your lighting a little bit better than having lights everywhere. Did you activate volumetrics? Yes, I did, but it wasn't for the entire place. So this is our volumes. If I take that away, you can see that we don't have that anymore. We don't have these gold rays, but let me see if I expand it to be everywhere. Actually, I think that's better because we get some nice volume for the sun, for the lights, for the ceiling lights there. Could be interesting. I have other details. I have a fan here. Have this detail here. Hello, Devo Jerome. How are you doing? How is Devo stuff? Oh, am I pronouncing your name wrong? Okay, so let's see what other details we can add in here. I had wickedly vivid dream of being in the future and roaming through a giant apocalyptic skyscraper turned makeshift hospital. I've been waiting to recreate this room. This would help me a lot. Ah, great. And what were you doing there? What was the cause of the apocalypse? Have you ever woken up from a dream and then woken up from a dream and tried to go back to it, but you couldn't, so you decide to just stay in your bed and try to kind of continue the dream outside the dreaming, outside sleep. So think how things would end like a movie, because I usually do that a lot. Cheetah Kusha, can you tell me from where can I learn Blender? I'm a noob. I'm mostly YouTube, and watching videos like this would help because that's what I did when I was beginning out as well. Okay, so let's see what details. Okay, let's add in this board. Maybe let's start with this wooden hanger here. I think we just need to first create the profile of that, so I'm going to speed up a little bit here. But if you have any questions, you can stop me and ask. Well, so let's add a plane. Let's call this on the X. Just go into edit mode, drag this, scale this like this, because I need the profile so we can have, I think it would be something like that. This, I think I have proportional editing turned on, so it should be something like this. And I can use the bevel modifier. Okay, don't apply it, and I can extrude it like so. Has to be somewhere there. Okay, this looks a bit large, too big for the scene, so going to turn on proportional editing. Sorry, add normals like this. Give this a wooden material. Let me see if I have some wood material. Walls. Go to a different library. Decals. We have this wood material. We can use that. Let me just see if we unwrap this using box projection. I think would be faster to do this. Let me try a different wood material. Can you tell me if I recall that lucid dream? Recall that lucid dream. Yeah, they're usually not lucid dreams. Just a dream, and then you wake up, but I can't get back to it. So you just decide to continue the dream yourself, because it was that interesting. Okay, so this is going to be our wall, like so. That overhang. Just going to push it out a little bit. I think some of these lights need to have contact shadows, so this here should have contact shadows like that. I think we need this also to be on the other side like that, on the same level like that. You can start with good old Blender GUI. Yeah, it's Blender GUI is a great place to start. There is also a Grand Habit. Grand Habit is also a nice place to start if you want to learn the basics. So this is where we are at. I think I have a different flow material that I think I could use. Let's try this. Let me just scale this down a bit and make it a little bit old. Make it a little bit old. And maybe change the color. I'm going to change the colors a bit also. I'm just going to add a color. Make RGB here. And you can see this is a basic setup. I just have a noise texture. Kind of fade into a noise, a color ramp, just to get the colors. But I want to switch them to a different color. So I can use a color node here. Kind of change the color to a different color. I'm going to go with that kind of a darker grayish color, greenish gray color. So I can something like that. So you'd imagine a hospital having something, a color like this, but maybe this is a bit too saturated. So maybe something like that. And the flow is a bit too reflective, so we can break it up with in a few different ways. But before we do that, let's make this, maybe let's add a grind map, a texture, image texture. We'll just go into my grind maps and just break up this a little bit, so I'm just going to add some roughness. I don't think I need a bump map for this. Turning my games into movies and animation. You have a game, Bobby? I think I missed that. Okay, so this is going to be our grunge map. You can see it gives us some nice reflections, but usually the floor is never really a uniform color, so some parts are brighter than the others. So I'm just going to make some of these a little bit less bright, so some like that. Something like that. So I can duplicate this material, this floor material, flow. I'm just going to select these, this here, the near edges, the edges near to the walls, and just give them a separate material, just to add in some extra flow detail. So I'm just going to assign them to this flow material and make that material a bit darker. Just going to blend it with a mix node. I don't know why it was apocalyptic. I am a very good lucid dreamer. In this dream, I went back 3 days to the same hospital. At the fourth, I was in a bar asking people how to find the hospital. Nice. And did you do anything interesting more than just walking around? Funny thing about lucid dreams, you know that you're dreaming, but you can't really tell. You never really have as much control as you expect. You can't really change anything about a lucid dream except knowing that you are in a lucid dream. Maybe that's just me, but I've found that you can't really change much about it. Why you don't read chat? Happy to see you again. I think I'm reading chat. Rauna, Kumal, I'm glad to see you again as well. So this is our hospital. I think slowly we are making some progress. I think I can use this as, I don't know how these are called, but I think they're called, they're not cornices. So I can just, but I want this to be a bit darker, so I'm just going to reduce the value of this. So it will be our, yeah, whatever that is. I saw yesterday a tutorial where someone folded a cigarette pack in Blender. It was so genius. Instead of projecting UVs, just fold it like in real life. Do you have a link? It would be amazing. You can paste the link in the Discord, server there, so that we can have a look at it. Maybe we can learn a few things as well from that, which would be amazing. I think our hospital is a bit too small, so I'm just going to expand it a little bit. I'm just going to grade these faces, then extrude Y like this. So this is going to be, maybe we make a kind of a hall, a hospital hall. Just going to grab these, expand, get these, make this a little bit longer, maybe push the camera also a little bit back. Okay, I'm just, it's 25. get our ceiling. Okay, everything about our ceiling has to be got. So the lights, everything. Can duplicate this, Shift D. Now before, let me first get this side. Just going to get rid of these faces here, and also get rid of half of that, and so we can bring this back. Watching you right now from beloved country, Yugi. Hey man, thank you. Senyonga, Alex, Chechiriwo, how are you doing? That's how we greet here. So let's expand this. I think it was great that I started doing live streams because now I can meet fellow Blender people or fellow 3D artists because I used to think that there are not as many 3D artists in this country, but I think there are quite a few. And sometimes I need artists to work on different projects. So I think I can meet them now since we do live streams. Okay, so I think I can bring this a little bit forward. Doesn't have to be. Okay, so let me change this. Something like 30. Bring this forward. I think we can also change the angle of this just a little bit so that we have much more interesting composition. Hello, Alain Naj, how are you doing? Hello, Lapish. You saved it somewhere? Great, amazing. I need a car model. There are a lot of guys here, 3D artists, who can help you with that, I think. Okay, so let's create this board here. I think you can find some stuff online. Yeah, you can find a lot of models. You can also, I don't make cars, but if you need some models, you can get them off CG Market. You can also check out. Yay! Thank you for subscribing, Tempra. Thank you. And so you can also buy some of my 3D models. This is also another way I support myself at selling 3D models. And you will recognize most of the projects that are on this page because most of the models I make are for the channel, 3D channel. I end up selling them on CG Trader. You can see this is a live stream we created a few days ago. And you can see I'm doing fine. I have 230 reviews. Yeah, so this is a project we did a few days ago. You can see the texturing and everything. Let's go back to the stream. I just wanted to show that. Okay. Greetings from Nigeria. How is Nigeria, man? How is everything there? My western neighbor. Ayuba, are you from Abuja? Yeah. Airport Road, nice. Okay, what should we, okay, what I wanted to make this, which should be very, very simple. We can start off, we can make it very simple by just adding a plane. The purpose of this live stream was to show off my add-on called my new add-on called, let's see who's that. Rokan Kumal, thank you for subscribing. Really appreciate it. So the purpose of this stream was to show off my new add-on called the Decal Creator. And basically what it does, it's just a complement of the quick Decal add-on. Let me just show you those both side by side. And I'm going to show you why I needed to create this add-on. This is Texture Decal Designer. And what it does, you can see here, it just makes designing the decals that I usually see. Let me see, Substance decals. Let me just show you. Yeah, decal packs. So the add-on this add-on here just makes designing these kind of decals really, really easy. And maybe let me just show you. Let's design something for this wall here. But first, let's create that frame itself. So I'm just going to insert this. Hit I, insert, delete this face, and then extrude it like that. So we have the frame, and I can select this edge loop, Control B, to bevel it like so. Add a few subdivisions like that. If you want a simple frame, that would be enough. But if you want a more complicated frame, you would just use. Thank you for subscribing, Kuma Nadal. Okay, I think you are unsubscribing and then subscribing. Or are you? Okay, no, actually no. So there is Kuma Nadal and then Raunak Kumar. Oh, so these are different names. They look a little bit similar. Thank you guys for subscribing. I really appreciate it. So this is. I want to use a custom. So there is a cornice shape. I think this is good. I'm going to turn on the smooth. So it gives us that nice frame. I'm going to give it the wooden material we have here. By the way, this is also another add-on if you don't know about it. The asset library I created just to simplify importing materials that I've already created into Blender. It just makes it very simple to reuse the materials. So this is going to be our board. I just need this to be a separate. Let's unwrap. So this is our frame. Let me give this a different material, texture, image texture. Define Muganda Wange. I've been following your content for some time, man. Wishing oh, you wish to see me. Yeah, that would be great. I think I will make a meetup one time, which just for a kind of meetup for Blender artists or 3D artists in general in Uganda, or anywhere near, who can make it and see. I want to get some wall texture here. Wall. So I want this here. This is a good texture for what I want for this. So I'm just going to use it as the base color, which I think it comes out a bit nice. But let me see if it can tile. Okay, we get there are a lot of seams, so I'll just use it. Let me see if it tiles better on the Y. Yeah, I think something like that. And I can use this as the roughness as well. And something like that should be okay. And it looks really better from this view here. But yeah, so let's create some decals for use here. So yeah, this is like call it a promo for my new add-on, the decal, the texture decal designer. Let me show it to you again if you might be interested in it. Okay, where is this website? Yeah, so let me just paste the link here and just showcase what it does. So we are in this project and we want to create some news like this. There are a few ways you can go about this. You can go into Photoshop and design. Let me actually get the image itself. Let me save image and open the image. So what I want to create is something like this header, exactly the way it is. There are a few ways to go about it. You can go into Photoshop and design it, but that means you have to go into another application outside Blender, which sometimes you don't really want to do. So this is an easier way to do it inside Blender. So if I want to be more organized, I can just open up a new Blender project, but you can do it within the project you're working with. But I find it much easier to kind of to keep things organized. Just going to create a new folder. I can a new blend file and start designing this. So let me get you know what, let me just create it within this project so that it's easier for other people to know what we're doing here. So I'm just going to go to my Decal designer, and you can see I already have a few inbuilt assets that come with the add-on. So you can start from this. If you go to Decal design, you can reuse any of the assets. So for example, I can reuse this. You can see it has different text, and if I make this editable, I can come into this and change this to say warning. Maybe that's much better. And you can see I have this caution icon. So maybe instead of using this, because this is more like electrical warning, I can get rid of this and use this general warning warning sign, which I also can make editable. Change the color a bit. Maybe change this to, which one would be better for a hospital? Would it be red? Okay, warning wouldn't be red. It would be something like I want to use hospital colors, something like that. Maybe change this to a white color. Get rid of this. Create a new material. Or a bluish. I don't know. I'm not sure. Okay, yeah, I think this is more of a hospital color. Can then scale this down and have that there. And maybe, okay, let me get rid of this text. Maybe we want to have some warning text or even just images. So I can go to Google and search for, I don't know, warning signs or hospital signs. Fleet World UK, hello, Top Channel 111. Great to see you back. I look forward to watching your videos very much. Hi, thank you for being around. I'm glad you're back as well. Yeah, really appreciate it. Okay, so we want to make a sign. Let's get some, I don't know, these. And you can even design these within Blender itself so that you never really have to go outside Blender. And maybe let's do that. So let's go to Rorem Ipsum. This is just a website that generates random text that you can use so that you don't have to type gibberish. So I'm just going to copy this line of text and I can use it here. So I can just simply create a text object in Blender, a text. So remember, we are just designing something like this to reuse here. So I can give this a dark material so that is readable. I think I need to bring it a bit up. Paste the Rorem text. You can see right now it's a single line, but if you go into the font settings, well, will you record this because it's 12 a.m. in India? Yeah, the full video will be on later. So if you want to have this on multiple lines, you just have to go to the text settings and then text boxes, add a new text box, and just change the scale on let me see what do you check. Oh, you need to change the overflow to scale to fit, and then this should do. Let me see, where is this text box? Is it truncated overflow? Yeah, you use overflow to have it jump onto the second line, and then you just have to play with the scale here. I'm just going to scale this down like this. I have to watch later when my internet is working better. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for the video, Top Channel 1. Looking forward to watching it later. Thank you too for being around. Thank you for the support. If you haven't liked, it would be amazing to leave a like on your way out, but I think you have done that. So thank you. Okay, so I want this to kind of, yeah. So I have my mouse set up to work on two computers. So whenever I whenever I try to change the figure here, my mouse accidentally goes to the second computer and kind of mess up a few things, but that's okay, I guess. So we want to change this, maybe duplicate this. So we have some nice paragraphs. and maybe add another, this bar here. You can, instead of just adding another text, you can just create a mesh. So this is how easy it is to create the same vector shapes that you would have to use with, you would have to do this in something like Photoshop, but this add-on makes it easier for you to make within Blender. So I'm just, so you never have to leave, your the Blender interface. So I'm just going to give this a bluish, a dark blue material, like that. I don't know. So that looks, I think, interesting enough. And maybe do the same on this side. Add-on looks nice. Thank you, really appreciate it. Maybe just duplicate this on this side. So now let's say we have done designing this, and maybe, and I'll be adding more more custom shapes. Maybe we can also add what? Let's say a hazard shape, or I don't know, fire. Fire is cool, so I'll add in a fire icon. Maybe just have it here. You can just bring it up to something like that, and maybe add another. Maybe this would be something like something. I'm just going to type it, something, because I'm running out of ideas. Something like I don't know. Now this would use a different material, a white material. Yes, so that's a nice heading, and I can use another creative heading here. Yes. Going to duplicate this to say instructions. And let's assume that we are done with this. You can select, you can just go to save image, and just make sure that you're viewing the whole image you want to save. Hit render, and it should give you a quick render. If your camera is not seeing everything, just reposition it, hit render again, and you can see the sign. In the preview here, it will be distorted, but the final image, if you go to render results, you see that is not distorted, and you can choose it to have transparency. So we can render it to have transparency, save it. Now I can save this image anywhere I want. So let me just have it in my resources, custom decals, and I can call this warning. It says the add-on is published 5. Yeah, it has just been published. That's why you see I haven't been streaming for a while, because I was still working on this add-on. Because I saw the need for it, I was high. Yeah, so after you're done with this, you can either choose to delete this because you no longer need this, or you can save it as a reusable asset. So you can reuse it in other areas if you want to. And I think I don't want these rounded borders, but actually this, I can select everything, go to decal, design mode, design decal, and then I can save this so that I can reuse it later. I'll call this decal something, not sure. Then it has been saved, so I can, if I want to reuse it in a different project, I can easily reuse it and make changes to it. But now I just want to use it as a simple, I can get rid of this text here. I want to this camera. I want to use it inside here, and since I have already rendered it as a texture, I can come back to my decals, use decals, and no, say use decals. Yeah, I think use decals. This is it. Yeah, you see it's already added, and I can add it as a texture like this, as an image texture. and I can manipulate it as an image texture, or if I want it to be added to a material I have like this wooden material. Hey Tasso Kalis, thank you for subscribing. I can choose to import it as a texture node. So I want to add it as a texture node onto the surface, so I just have to import it as a texture node, and you see that it has been imported as a texture node with an alpha mask. So I can, because this is rotated wrongly, I can rotate it 90 degrees like so. I think the UV for this object is a bit off. That's why you see that it's rotated. So I don't have to rotate this. I just have to, let me go to my UV editor. UV editor, did I? UV editor. Unwrap. Why am I unable to see my UV editor? Okay, see here. So I can rotate this, get this, rotate this 90 degrees and mirror it on the Y, and you see we have our decal. Just have to scale it down and position it where I want it to be. This is somewhere there, and I can change, remove it from repeat to clip. Wow, you are up to 100 and yeah, today we are doing great. So today we jumped up over to 112 views, which is amazing. So I guess this is the best time to stream. Maybe I'll try to change up my live streams, my streaming time to match what you guys want. So yeah, and now you can reuse this decal as a material, as a texture, like that. Very, very easy. And you can see what we have. But it's not limited to that. Remember, the reason why I created this add-on, the Decal Designer, was because it would complement this add-on, the Quick Decals add-on, much better. So now I can use, instead of just doing this inside textures or inside shaders, I can choose to be more efficient and do this inside the Quick Decals add-on. And what this does, I can just navigate to my Quick Decals. So I think I saved this in a different location that is difficult to navigate to. So I'm just going to change this a bit. As I said, I don't like these rounded corners, so I'm just going to delete them and just go back to my Quick Designer and change these to something else. Let's see what. Okay, most of what I have here are rounded corners, so let me get some sharp corners here. I'm just adding a plane. So most of the tools have always been there. It's just that the functionality to make this work wasn't available. So I guess that's what I was doing. I was trying to do. I think I can get some images of Google, some hospital, let me say hospital icons. So you never really have to, hospital icons. You never really have to switch to a different application if you want to do this. Or let me just go to, I don't know, people. Let me just get people. I like the app, how buy it? Amazing, thank you, I really appreciate it. What are you making now? Today we are making a post-apocalypse hospital scene or something like this, and we're just using this as a reference. So let's get some images here. Maybe I'll just, I don't know, grab this. Yay! Someone just bought a textured Decal Designer. I've just got an email, but yeah, thank you for getting that. I'm not sure who that was, but if you did, you can say hi in chat so that I can thank you officially here. I'm just going to use this image just to add it. Hello, Paul Rodriguez. Thank you for joining us. So I'm just going to add this image in here so that we have some, image here. I'm just going to have this here. Maybe we have some image here. And you can import this as an image. by dragging it. So where is this? I'm just going to drag this inside. Okay, what I'm not sure is if this would be renderable, if the image would be okay, so it won't be able to render, but what I can do is just add a texture, just drag this image, any image you want. If you want to have it in your design, just drag and drop. Okay, I need to create a new material and just drag and drop it in here. So this is our image, and now I can have it there, and it should look like it's part of our scene. Now you see a soft shadow around this. That's a result of the ambient occlusion. So if I turn that off, it just look fine like that. So let me just make this more interesting. Is have this icon up around there, and I can have a header here. Just give it a different color, give it a red. Let me have, so this is a hospital for the dead. That's an interesting title, and you can choose any font you have, custom fonts. Basically whatever you can do in Blender, you should be able to do here. So hospital for the dead. Yay, thank you for subscribing, Vito Hugo, really appreciate it. Yeah, so the YouTube gods today have decided to bless us with over 136 viewers, which is quite amazing. So I guess this is the time that the YouTube gods want us to stream. So I'll be streaming this more, streaming today more. So this is our banner. Again, as I said, we're trying to recreate the hospital. Where is this hospital? And yeah, this is a nice way to do these. So this is a hospital for the dead, but this has to be broken up a little bit. For just duplicate these for the dead, like so. And now I can just go back to my save image, hit render. It will try to estimate what you want to render, but sometimes you won't get it right, so you just have to reposition the camera a bit. Just move it back a bit, something like that. Then maybe just going to extrude this a little bit up so that we capture something like that. And you see that sometimes if your aspect ratio is not, you're not getting the aspect ratio you want. Decal, make okay. If you're not getting the aspect ratio you want, you can go to your image dimensions here and change that. That is really this is just going to change the render settings here, so you can come back to that, hit render again, and you get this. Again, the preview here is going to be a bit distorted, but if you go to the render preview, it should give you the final look of the render, and you can see the resolution here. You can change the resolution by just changing this resolution. So if I want this to be something like, I can multiply this by 2 so that the resolution is twice whatever this is. So this would be 2K. Re-render this again. It's taking a bit of time. And you see we get a better resolution. Then I can save this where I want it to be saved. So I'll save this as 2. Or I can even save it as this here, the first decal we created. Now if I get rid of this camera and go back to my camera, I can just re-import. If I go to use decals, I can re-import the decal you just created. So I think I need to access the folder that we are linking, that we are using. So I think I have that under my documents. I'm not sure where I was saving this, but let's try try saving this. So this is my resources, custom decals. So I can go to, I can change where I'm seeing, what I'm seeing in this area. So my texture collection by going to link, texture, resources, custom decals, and that should take me to the folder where I've saved my decals. So I'm just going to get, I think it is this, and I just either import it as a texture or just import it as an image like that. So yeah, I just didn't want to go into Photoshop, so I decided to create an add-on that kind of similar. It may not have all the functionality. So dead should be red. Okay, it should be red, and maybe this is a nice way to also show off how quick this add-on is. So I can go, you can see, let me make sure that we're seeing this. So you're saying dead should be red, so we can go in here, back to this, and change that. So to change the dead, I think I would have to duplicate this text and erase this and just retype dead. Dead. Maybe make it even bigger. Go back to the design decal and change this to red. And I think we can re-render this. Unbelievably, unbelievably awesome. This guy gives us what exactly you expect in mind. And thank you. I can re-render this. Go back to save, re-render texture. Re-render image texture. Okay, the resolution is too high. It takes a few minutes to render. So let me bring it back to 200 and re-render. And the amazing thing is that if I save and replace this, save successfully, I just have to go back to my old camera or to my image, this image, and because it's reusing the same texture, I should be able to reload this image. I think I have to reload it here. Where is it? Is it this? Is it this? Is it this? Is it this? How do you reload images? Because if you are able to reload this, you should just be able to change, to update the